A 10-game homestand continues here at Miller Park, and the news gets better. Ryan Braun back in the lineup in left field, and they also get better news in Zach Davies returning from the disabled list. He's been on the DL since April 30th. 30 wins coming up for Zach Davies. We're getting ready for game one of this 4-game series between the New York Mets and your Milwaukee Brewers here at Miller Park. It's an absolutely gorgeous night for baseball, and that even the dogs are out. It's Bark at the Park night here at Miller Park, so we'll have some furry friends in attendance as well. Good evening, everyone. Sophia Minert here at Miller Park. And for the first 50 games, the Brewers are off to their best start in franchise history. 12 games over 500, but the news does get better for them on the health front. As we told you, Ryan Braun back in the starting lineup after being on the disabled list with back tightness, and they're getting Zach Davies back as well. He's getting ready to make his 7th start of the season. So we show you the roster moves. Braun and Davies back. They have optioned Ji-Man Choi and Brandon Woodruff back to AAA Colorado Springs. But the big news for the Brewers starting rotation is getting Zach Davies back. He's already given this team 3 quality starts in his first 6 starts of the season. And for manager Craig Counsell, getting that consistency back is key for the crew.
That's you know what you're asking, hopefully, from all your starters. And Zach, I think, you know, Zach's strength is really he's taking the ball a lot. Really, this was his first little blip in having a DL stint, but he's been a very consistent pitcher for us, and you think you know that should continue. And so you feel like you give him the ball and he gives you a chance to win.
Zach Davies is looking to avenge a loss earlier this season against the Mets as he faces them for the 2nd time, but the Brewers just keep rolling through their first 50 games. Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder will take a look at the crew's historic start coming up next.
Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. Voted best, rated best, Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards, save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Well, after a 7-3 road trip, the Brewers sweep the Arizona Diamondbacks, and now the Mets are here. Steven Matz, the left-hander, on the mound for New York here tonight, matching up against Zach Davies. Davies returning from the disabled list. He'll make his 7th start of the season here tonight. And hi, everybody. With that, we welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. It is Bark at the Park night here at the ballpark tonight, so we're going to see a lot of dogs. It's going to have a lot of fun. And the Brewers are playing well. And how well? They have set a franchise record through the first 50 games. Rock, the Brewers are 31-19.
And we'll see how they continue throughout the season. But right now, I don't think Craig Counsell can expect them to play much better. I mean, every aspect of the game has been very good. The defense has really started to pick it up. These guys are really picking it and throwing it extremely well. When the Brewers hit home runs, they usually win. But the one thing that's been there the entire season, all 50-plus games, is the fact that their pitching's been off the charts. I mean, the bullpen has been getting a lot of the press. These guys have been terrific. They lead the National League in bullpen earned run average. But, you know, when you look at what the starting rotation has done, given all the injuries, those guys have been terrific, too. So right now, the Brewers on the top of the heap, best record in the National League because everything has been working well for them right now.
Well, the Brewers still sniffing that unbeaten streak here at Miller Park. They're 3-0 so far on this homestand, looking for win number 4 tonight. First of 4 against the New York Mets coming up. He struck him out. He needed that one. Shaw will send one out of here. And Santana sends one out of here. Deep to left. Way back. Goodbye. Here he comes. Runner goes. Pena's thrown to second base on the bag. In time. 3-run jack for the mayor of Ding Dong City. Beautiful night for baseball at Miller Park, Milwaukee. 79 degrees. Zach Davies in those home whites, taking the mound, coming off the disabled list, trying to keep this hot streak alive. The Brewers have won 10 of their last 13 games. Mickey Callaway's Mets had won 4 straight. They just dropped the series to the Miami Marlins. They come here, having won 2 out of 3 from the Brewers earlier this season. The first-year skipper. His Potawatomi batting order looks like this tonight. Brandon Nimmo leads off. Asdrubal Cabrera, then Wilmer Flores. Jay Bruce, Michael Conforto, Devin Mesoraco in the middle with Gonzalez, Matz, and Rosario rounding out the starting 9. The pitcher bats 8th in the New York Mets lineup tonight. First pitch on the way. Davies deals it. It is a strike, and away we go.
Yeah, first start for Zach in the big league since April 29th against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. Yeah, roughed up a little bit in that start, but 3 straight good starts for him. He's making start number 6 against the Mets, and he's got a 2-1 record so far.
Davies and Steven Matz matched up in the Brewers-Mets series in New York back in April. That was the second road trip of the year for Milwaukee. So it is a rematch of these two pitchers.
Actually, it was a pretty good start against the Cubs. 5 2/3, 5 hits, 2 runs for Zach in that start against the Cubs before he went on the disabled list.
1-2 pitch, and Nimmo pulls it foul. Shoulder inflammation, rotator cuff inflammation to be exact, on Zach Davies. So they shut him down for about 3 weeks. He did make a minor league start in Appleton just to make sure that the shoulder was sound again. The inflammation is gone, and Davies is hopeful that he'll be able to resume his every 5th day routine for the Brewers. He's confident that will happen.
They look good in that start down in the minors. 4 2/3, no runs, 9 punch outs for Davies, if that's any indication.
That was this past weekend. Davies went on the DL May 3rd, and as Rock mentioned, his last start April 29th. As Nimmo down the right field line, that's going to get into the corner. That's Yelich in right tonight, and he'll play it in, but not before Brandon Nimmo is in with a leadoff double.
Well, the Mets are coming in, not swinging the bats all that well. They're riddled with injuries right now, but that fastball out over the plate up. And it's not where Davies wants to put the baseball. It needs to be down and away with that pitch. Nimmo with a good start for the Mets.
Mets have all kinds of injuries that they are dealing with right now, including 2 of their bigger bats. They are without Todd Frazier and Yoenis Cespedes. Frazier's out with a hamstring injury. Cespedes is out with a hip flexor. Both took batting practice on the Miller Park field today and did some throwing drills. They are both close to returning, but no timetable for a return just yet on those 2. So they've got a lot of luggage sitting over there in that dugout and in that clubhouse during this 3-game series with the Brewers.
Yeah, they got the catcher Darno. He's been on the disabled list just about all season. Anthony Swarzak, former Brewer reliever for the Mets, DL'd.
Mets lost 2 catchers. Darno's out for the year, required Tommy John surgery, and Kevin Plawecki, their other catcher, been out since mid-April. He's due back shortly, but you get the idea with the Mets. They have a ton of injuries they're trying to endure, and yet they come here to Miller Park. Mickey Callaway's team is 24-21. They are 3.5 games behind the surprising Atlanta Braves. Braves have a half-game lead over the Phillies. Swing and a miss. Cabrera down on strikes. And the first out of the ball game for Davies is a punch out.
Yeah, we talked about the defense being so good when we came on the air. It has been the last 3 weeks. Braun is back. He's off the disabled list. He's in left. You got Kane Yelich in center and right. Perez gets to start at third base. Day off for Shaw with the left-hander. Matz on the mound. Arcia, Saladino up the middle. Jesus Aguilar at first, and Manny Pena behind home plate.
Well, with the left-handed starter on the mound, bunch of right-handers in there, and welcome back to Ryan Braun, as Sophia reported. Back on time. His 10 days expired yesterday, so first day he was eligible to return. Braun makes it back into the lineup. Mid-back tightness was the official diagnosis on Braun. Davies facing Wilmer Flores now with 1 away. Flores hitting 3rd in this Mets lineup. Comes in hitting .235, an OPS of .723. This is where you really feel how thin the Mets lineup is right now without Frazier and Cespedes.
They have part-time players hitting in the number 3 spot. And Flores had a walk-off home run against the Brewers in New York.
Runner at second is Nimmo. Davies deals a strike. 3-1. That's Mike Winters calling the balls and strikes tonight. He is also the crew chief of this four-man crew. Mike McClinsky, Ramon DeJesus, and Rob Drake are the base umpires. Picture perfect night at the ballpark tonight. Well, great to be here and great to have you with us. 3-1, and it's outside ball 4. A double and a walk here in this first inning for Davies.
Well, let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win. Well, it's a long layoff for Zach Davies. It's been a while, 3 weeks, so that's going to affect the control pitcher a lot more than a guy that rears back and lets her fly. Steven Matz, a road warrior, has been very good on the road, although he doesn't have any wins to show for it. A .270 earned run average away from Citi Field, and the Mets pitching staff has a stretch going, 8 straight games, 9 or more punch outs. This pitching staff for the Mets, they can go and get you.
Yeah, the Mets staff is one of the better staffs in the big leagues for sure. Mets aren't swinging the bat much, but their pitchers are holding up their end. Their pitching staff, their starting rotation specifically, only gave up 1 earned run in a 3-game series against Miami, and they lost twice. Jay Bruce now for the Mets takes a strike.
It's kind of a league-wide issue, right? Everybody talking about it, nobody hitting. Mets are right in there. You can see Jay Bruce's numbers way down. Wow, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs. He's always done well against Milwaukee.
It's a very low OPS for Jay Bruce. 2 on, 1 away. Bruce takes a ball down and in. Bruce has played in 136 games against the Brewers all those years with the Cincinnati Reds. In those 136 games, he has 35 homers, 88 runs batted in. Did he go? He did not. Able to check his swing.
Yeah, trying to get good command of his pitches, and it's been a bit of a struggle for him, at least early, which could be expected after that long layoff. You saw Chase Anderson struggle in the first inning. His first start off the DL, but he was able to get things going quickly.
That was Monday. Chase Anderson beat Zach Greinke on Monday. Started the road trip right. There's a changeup, a good one. Piña's going to third, out there. Nice play. Manny Piña gets the lead out on the force. Jumped on it quickly. I'd say quick as a cat, but I don't want to stir up all the dogs in the ball.
Right. That's a good idea. That's like an Aaron Rodgers pass to a tight end, right, in a crossing pattern. Watch the way he leads Hernan Perez to third base. Perfect throw to third. They get the lead runner. That's pretty good. Quick as a cat. Don't say that tonight.
It's not a good line tonight. How was the post parade cleanup, Rock? You were down there on the
clean
field.
as a whistle.
Everything
I was stunned. We talked about it at great length in the pregame.
Dogs. The dogs are out tonight.
That's my job back at home. The cleanup detail.
That's your gig, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Kick a little dirt on it. 2 on, 2 away now. Michael Conforto at the plate. Yeah, they got all kind of things to accentuate the night here at Miller Park for the Bark in the Park night. I particularly like the balls and strikes and outs on the scoreboard. The monitor has gone from just the dots to the Hank image.
Oh, now I see it. A little bit too far for these eyes, but I thought that was kind of a bucket of popcorn out there.
I got my new glasses on as I can see all kind of stuff.
Nice.
Whole new worlds opened up to me, partner.
It's amazing when you just finally give up and wear them.
Conforto takes a ball, and it's 2-0. Conforto with 4 homers, 13 RBIs. He's another Met off to a slow start. Another OPS under 700, which is not something Conforto would like to see by season's end. Proved himself to be a very good young hitter. Burst onto the scene a couple of years ago in that great run by the Mets. 2-0 the count. And Piña Snap throw to second. Back in time is Flores. Good catch out there by Arcia.
Yeah, had to go after the baseball and try to avoid Flores as he's sliding back.
Now the Brewers do that as well as anyone. Back picks, catchers throwing to bases, pitchers with pickoffs.
Big secondary lead. It would have been interesting had that baseball been on the money.
Pena has been throwing the ball exceptionally well. He had 2 key caught stealing in that series against Arizona, in 1 game against Arizona. Conforto takes a ball, and it's a walk on 4 straight, and the Mets have loaded him up here in the first inning. 2 walks and a double, as Davies is trying to find the range here early.
This is almost a carbon copy of the start for Chase Anderson when he came back from the DL. Bases loaded, give up 1 run. But Davies has a chance to get out of this with no damage.
Now he'll face a familiar opponent in Devin Mesoraco, the former Cincinnati Red. Mets traded away Matt Harvey to the Reds. They needed catching help with their 2 top catchers out with injury and their starting catcher out for the year. And a strike to Mesoraco. Mets have had 5 different starting catchers this season.
Yeah, it's not even June yet. That's a lot. Brewers have had 3.
0-2 the count. This is Mesoraco's 11th game with the Mets. He has 5 hits, and 3 of those are home runs for New York. First plate appearance of the year with the bases loaded. Davies having to dig deep early in this first inning. 2 walks and a double, bases loaded, and an 0-2 pitch. Line back up the middle. Davies knocks it down, throws to first in time. Wow, man, so fortunate that Davies gets himself in a position to field. That was right at his head. He got leather on it, I believe. Yeah, it hit the glove. Wow, lucky. Inning is over. Mets strand him loaded. Davies a scoreless first. Position on the field, the pitcher, when he lets the pitch go, and he was able to get out of the inning. Fortunate to get the glove up. And now we're headed to the bottom of the first. Mets fail to score in the top half. Strand the bases loaded. Potawatomi batting order for Craig Counsell tonight. Kane, Yelich, and Braun at the top. Aguilar, Perez, and Pena in the middle, with Saladino getting to start at second base. Arcia at short, and then Davies rounding out the starting 9. No Domingo Santana, no Travis Shaw.
Yeah, two guys have been swinging the bats pretty well. Now Matt's 9th appearance so far this year, 1-3. The one win came against the Brewers back in New York on April 13th. No decision his last time out against the Diamondbacks.
Lorenzo Cain takes strike one to get the night started for Steven Matz. Matz has just one quality start in his 8 starts this year. Quality start being at least 6 innings and at least 3 runs or fewer. So the Mets are hopeful that Matz can get it going here as it begins to warm up. And Cain jam shot roll to third for Flores and out number 1.
Yeah, look out here with Zach Davies. He hung a breaking pitch, and it's good that he's always in position to field, because if he wasn't, this would have been a disaster. He's able to get the glove up, presence of mind to jump up and get the out. He saved himself 2 runs right there, and probably some dental work.
Man, that was scary.
Yeah,
huh?
no kidding. Look out. That'll get you a little bit flinchy out on the mound.
Here's Christian Yelich. He is the lone left-hander in the lineup tonight against Steven Matz. Yelich coming in at .282 with 5 homers, 19 driven in, and a big swing. He fouls it back, and it's 0-2. Council had decisions to make tonight with his lineup, with Braun returning. Certainly not going to sit Aguilar, who's been swinging the bat as well as anybody. There's a jam shot to Flores, and 2 gone. Both little handle ground balls to the left side.
It's a kind of a nice situation to be in. Which one of your guys that are red hot going to sit the bench to put Braun in there? So yeah, Santana's starting to swing the bat. He's been hitting some home runs, and Travis Shaw just a day off for him.
Well, first at bat for Ryan Braun in 10 days. Ryan was concerned when that injury first came down that it was more toward the rib cage, more toward the intercostals, which can be a 4 to 6 week recovery time. It was not that. It didn't go that far around his back. So I think Braun feels fortunate that he didn't have to deal with that oblique injury or the intercostal injury. And here he is, right on schedule, returning to the Brewers. And he's hoping he returns with a hot bat. Braun's had a struggle this year offensively. He does have 20 RBIs, and he does have 5 home runs, and he's delivered a number of times in the clutch. He's had 3 late game moments for the Brewers this year, but the overall numbers not where he wants them.
Yeah, a slow start. I mean, typically Braun, one of those guys that is relatively consistent throughout the year, and as you can see, he's been, one of the best hitters in franchise history.
And he shoots one past Gonzalez, a base hit to right. Good sign early for Braun. When he's driving it to the right side, you know he is on his game offensively.
Yeah, he got that fastball out over the plate. Nobody does that any better than Braun. He hits it like a left-handed pull hitter. A mistake by Matz, and Braun made him pay. A hard base hit to right.
So a 2-out single for Milwaukee. Braun had been taking batting practice the last couple of days with the helmet on, with the C-flap to protect the jaw. Notice that he didn't have it on today. He must not be quite comfortable with that yet. He hopes to get to that point.
And when he says it bothers him a little bit, peripheral vision, he can notice it, and that's not what he wants.
Brings up Jesus Aguilar in this first inning. Jesus had a key hit yesterday that started the scoring spree for the Brewers. It started a 7-run inning for Milwaukee yesterday against Arizona. 7-run fourth. And Aguilar sends one to left, well out in front of it. That'll be foul.
At 94 miles an hour, inside corner. You can see what Aguilar does to it, just not able to wait back long enough. He knew it right away. Basically fastball curveball for Steven Matz. He will throw a changeup as well.
Jesus drove in 3 yesterday. Was 2 for 5. Drove in the first Brewers run in the first inning, and then after the Diamondbacks had taken the lead, he helped the Brewers get back on top, driving in 2 more. It was a 9-2 win yesterday. The Brewers sweeping the Arizona Diamondbacks. And already the Brewers have 5 sweeps. Aguilar's been a big part of it.
Yep, and 4 series wins in a row against teams that were in the postseason last year. Pretty good.
Aguilar down in the count, 1-2. We're just underway from Miller Park. Brewers with a man on. Braun with 2 away. If you're just joining us, the Mets loaded him up in the first inning. Zach Davies was able to get out of it on a harrowing play on a line shot back up the middle by Devin Mesoraco.
It's amazing how instincts take over for these guys, right? I mean, he almost gets hit in the face, knocks it down, and right away, first thing he's thinking, am I all right? No, I want to get the out. Save some runs. Amazing, right?
How far would you say Davies would be to home plate once he lets it go?
It's got to be, what, 56 feet?
56, 55 feet, right? And it left the bat at 95 miles an hour, right between the eyes. Aguilar sends one into right field. That's playable for Jay Bruce. And the first inning is in the books at Miller Park. 1st to 4 against the Mets. We are scoreless, and the Mets are coming up.
Brewers gear, and it's a beautiful night for baseball. No score between the Brewers and the Mets, and they're off to their best start in franchise history, and they're coming off of a historic series against the Arizona Diamondbacks. In 6 games, they allowed just 22 hits, 10 runs allowed as well. That is the fewest in the modern era, going back to 1900 in a 6-game series. So manager Craig Counsell said he felt that they caught the D-backs at a good time, but he said obviously to put up those kinds of numbers against that lineup, he said is an indication of how well the starters performed, the relievers, terrific defense behind them as well. He said we've just done a great job, not just pitching throughout the start of the season and especially in that series, but keeping runs off the board. Catcher Manny Pena echoed that as well. He said the confidence that this team has, they can get 5 or 6 innings out of a starter, the confidence that they have that the bullpen can hold that lead as well.
That's amazing. I mean, you know, 22 hits, that's 2 games for the Diamondbacks when they're going well.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, that's a little over 3 hits a game for 6 games. That's on average. That's that tells you how good this pitching staff has been. A little bit of it has to do with the fact that Arizona just can't get it going offensively.
Well, the Mets swept the Diamondbacks prior to the Brewers sweeping Arizona. Adrian Gonzalez leading off here in this 2nd inning for New York. Yeah, the Diamondbacks ran into the Nationals, the Brewers, the Mets, and the Brewers in consecutive series. So there's a little bit more to their struggles. Those are 4 big-time pitching staffs, as it turns out this year, with the Brewers leading the pack, especially that relief ERA. Davies deals, Gonzalez, and a catch by Davies. He reached out on a little soft liner and makes the play. He's moving around quickly here tonight on the mound.
And Davies thinking, you know, hit it somebody else. I've had enough. Now look at the quickness. Look at the position he's in when he gets rid of the baseball. I mean, his shoulders are squared up. He's on the balls of his feet, and he's ready to go either way and able to make that catch as well.
So Davies with 1 away, facing the pitcher, Steven Matz. Like most of the other starting pitchers for the Mets, Matz hits on the other side from which he pitches. Left-handed thrower, right-handed hitter. See that protective padding on his elbow, his pitching elbow.
It's not ideal, you know, to have that pitching elbow exposed like that.
Used to be the old unwritten rule, if you can't hit over 100, as an organization, we will choose what side of the box you hit from. Remember Carlos Villanueva?
Yeah, they moved him on the other side, right?
He wanted to switch hit. He said, you're going to have to get at least a couple of hits a year before we start entertaining that option. Matt's trying to get on the interstate right now. He has 1 hit this year in 13 plate appearances. Hitting .091. 2-2. Davies deals, and that is a foul ball.
Pretty good swing right there. Almost found that first base line. Just missed it. Kind of stuck the bat out there. Check this out. Pretty good piece of hitting by Matz on a ball that was off the outside corner.
Last year, Matz hit 143. And he goes. Pena puts the tag on him. Secures it at first anyway. And it's a strikeout for Zach Davies.
Hey, represent the crew all season long with a limited edition Brewers snapback hat given to the first 20,000 fans at the ballpark for tomorrow's matchup against these Mets, courtesy of 94.5 KTI Country. To lock in your seats, visit brewers.com/tickets.
It's a good lid. That's quality headwear. Maybe not as quality as that one, but pretty quality. 2 quick outs for Davies. Here is Ahmed Rosario, the young shortstop. Not unusual anymore to see the pitcher batting 8th. Pretty common occurrence.
And just an effort for, you know, in the lineup to maybe get a few more guys on for your second and third hitters. So essentially, after the first time through, you have back-to-back leadoff guys. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know, there has been a lot of studies that have been conducted on that. And basically, they say it really doesn't matter.
I think it was Ned Yost, the first to try it with the Brewers in the Ned Yost era back in the day, prior to the 08 season. Oh, and 2 the count. Saw Pena there motioning to Davies, widen out, meaning don't get too much of the plate. This is a free swinger at the plate in Ahmed Rosario.
Right, he's very animated back there. He'll give hand signals, you know, let the pitcher know exactly what he's talking about. This is going to go up and in.
Yeah, he doesn't bite. 2-2 the count. A pitcher knows that his catcher, when Pena's back there, is in it with him 100%.
He has done such a good job of, you know, preparing himself each and every day. He's got a lot of pride in the fact that, you know, he studies scouting reports. He gets with Derek Johnson and the starting pitcher that particular day, and they have a pretty good idea what they want to do. before they go out there. Most of the work's being conducted before the game starts.
Did not become the Brewers' principal catcher until last season, which was his age 30 season. Imagine going through the run that Pena has gone through and kind of typecast as a backup his entire career. He got a chance with the Kansas City Royals, but was the backup to the emerging Salvador Perez at the time. There's a big bouncing ball. Got to hurry this one over. Long throw by Perez is a good one. Boy, he has a cannon. And the speedy Rosario is out. 1-2-3 inning for Davies. Long ball has been the story for the Brewers. How about 19 home runs in the last 10 games? And the Brewers offense has come alive as their pitching staff has gotten stingier than ever. 3 home runs off Zach Greinke on Monday night here in that win against the Diamondbacks ace.
Yep, 62 home runs, tied for the league lead right now.
Hernan Perez into right field. On the run, Bruce at the wall. He leaps and makes the catch.
How many times have we seen him do that? He's terrific out there in right field. Covers a lot of ground and has a great throwing arm. You don't run on him.
He knows this outfield extremely well, probably better than most opposing players do.
Perez took one in that direction in yesterday's game. Got caught. When he starts doing this more consistently, that average is going to start climbing again. But Jay Bruce knows exactly where he is, perfectly times his leap.
Manny Pena asked for and is granted timeout. First at bat for Pena. Second inning, Brewers got a hit from Braun in the first. Only hit so far against Steven Matz. Talking about home runs, yesterday the Brewers got a home run from Travis Shaw and then one from Tyler Saladino, who has earned his way back in the starting lineup tonight. Saladino due to hit next.
With the left-hander on the mound, he's got the right-handed Saladino up there. VR much better as a left-handed hitter.
Ball and 2 strikes. Down and in. 2-2 on the Brewer catcher. That home run you saw in that clip of Manny Pena, that was a game-tying home run in the 9th inning in Colorado. Off the Rockies closer. Coming up in a big spot. Taking Wade Davis out. Brewers would win that game in extra innings, and now Pena draws a 1-out walk.
Yeah, that home run, a 2-run shot, tied the game with 2 outs.
It was part of a series where the Brewers won 3 out of 4 from the Rockies. Won 7 of 10 on the road trip through Colorado, Arizona, and Minnesota, and they've kept it going here at home. They've started this 10-game homestand with a sweep of the Diamondbacks. Mets are in for 4. Cardinals coming in Monday, Memorial Day. There's a strike to Saladino. Tyler has found new life in a new organization. Began his season with the White Sox. White Sox had roster issues, and Saladino, it was looking like, was going to be a DFA candidate, a designated for assignment candidate. Brewers were able to work a trade for cash, needing some depth in their utility / infield position, so they were able to work the deal, sent Saladino to Colorado Springs, and the first opportunity they brought him to the big leagues, and he has done nothing but hit and play superb defense since he arrived.
Yeah, he's got really good hands out there, middle of the infield.
And he pulls the hands in, delivers one to center field. Professional approach at the plate by Tyler Saladino.
Well, you can already see that Steven Matz does not mind pitching inside. I mean, he's not a guy that throws, you know, in the mid to upper 90s, but he does work the inside part of the plate. That's not even a strike. But Saladino, as you mentioned, able to pull the hands in, get enough of it, and muscle it into center field. A piece of hitting, not trying to pull it.
Steven Matz probably wondering how a pitch that far inside ends up as a line drive to center field. It's good work by Saladino. That sounds like a Bill Schroeder instructional at some point.
We just had it.
Here's Arcia, who lifts one to right. And the Brewers' 8th place hitter on the first pitch flies out. We'll leave it up to the pitcher Davies.
I just wish I was able to do it when I played.
Just because you teach it doesn't mean you actually executed it as a player.
That would have been a bat blow up on that.
Maybe hook one foul over the dugout.
Third deck.
I always like how Rob Deere would, your good buddy Rob Deere, how he would begin his fantasy camp instructionals. He'd say, now, what I'm about to tell you is not what I used to do. Don't do it like I tried.
Well, he's got actually T-shirts. That's his logo. It says, "Don't do what I did. Say, do what I say. Do what I say. Don't do what I did." Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
But that's Rooster.
Two on for Davies. Matz drops a breaking ball in for a strike. 0-2 on the Brewer pitcher.
Rob Deere was actually assistant hitting coach for the Cubs for a year when Dale Swain was managing.
He's a good man. I always enjoy Rob Deere. You know, when he started to come on the air with us after his playing career ended and before his coaching jobs around the major leagues, I always found him fascinating to get into hitting. And you know, he and Tony Gwynn were connected as well in their philosophies. You just wouldn't think it based on the way he looks and the way he hit in the big leagues, but that doesn't mean you have to teach it that way.
Very good hitting instructor, continues to do that kind of work. Young kids in the Arizona, in the Phoenix area, does clinics.
Zach Davies still looking for his first hit of the year. And down he goes. Matz gave him a steady diet of curveballs. 2 stranded for the Brew Crew. 2 in the books. No score. Mets Brewers. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Zach Davies has been front and center tonight on Bark at the Park night. Some good-looking mutts out there. They had a big parade around the warning track before the game, and there was not an empty spot on the warning track. There were so many people with their dogs here that it went the entire circumference of the warning track, and it was a really cool sight. Dogs are having a blast. Second year the Brewers have done this.
Ed Cedar had his dog out, Squirt. Where's Chestnut tonight?
Chestnut was not pleased with the decision to leave her behind tonight. So we are not on speaking terms right now. Third inning, Brandon Nimmo back up at the plate, the Mets leadoff hitter. Yeah, our dogs are a big part of our lives, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's always fun to get home from a game and there's your dog come running at you.
Yeah. I particularly like it about 6:30 in the morning when they start barking and have to go out.
Yeah.
That's always fun.
Yep. The joys of dog ownership. See, I don't have that problem. My dog sleeps 20 of the 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
She's very much into the lazy lifestyle, which is perfect for us.
I thought you were going to say it doesn't matter for you because he just goes anywhere anyway.
Oh, there she is.
Nice antlers.
Chestnut.
Why do you do that to your dog?
I don't. Everything about that dog all goes through my wife and my daughter.
Okay.
And so I have nothing to do with the dog other than taking her for a walk and cleaning up after her.
You had nothing to do with the antlers?
All the fun stuff belongs to the women in my house, including the naming of that dog. Chestnut would not be my first option.
I heard differently.
2-2. Nimmo lines one past Aguilar again. And down into the corner it goes. Nimmo thinking about third, and he's on his way. Yelich had some trouble with it. And it is going to be a leadoff triple for the Mets leadoff hitter.
Right, he's been wearing out that right field line tonight. Second that has just been barely fair down the line, and there's that curveball that stayed up just enough for Nimmo to be able to tuck it inside the right field line, and Christian Yelich having a bit of an issue with it out there. Kind of slipped. Nimmo with good speed, able to cruise into third base.
Nimmo's had a hot bat for the Mets here recently, and a double and a triple today in his first two at-bats. Mets threatening to score now in this third inning. Runner at third, nobody out for Asdrubal Cabrera. Switch hitting second baseman.
This guy coming in at 310, 10th in the league in hitting. He's off to a good start.
7 home runs. He has 27 RBIs. High OPS. Won a Silver Slugger Award as a shortstop back in the day as a Cleveland Indian. Broken bat. Aguilar's got it for out number 1. And Nimmo has to stay put at third base.
That's that cut fastball. Good pitch. Ate him up. Watch the way that ball comes in off the plate. Goes from strike to ball and ate him up inside.
Well, Davies will face Wilmer Flores now. Could use a strikeout in a spot like this. Flores walked his last time up, and on the first pitch, a fly ball to right. It's going to be plenty deep to get the run home. Yelich makes a catch, and coming in is Nimmo, and the Mets are on the board first tonight. Sac fly and an RBI for Wilmer Flores.
Yeah, thinking opposite field, looked like all the way. That's that curveball. It looks like the Mets seem to be sitting on the curveball tonight because Flores wasted no time in attacking that pitch. curveball up.
Nemo's triple came on a curveball. Bases empty, 2 gone. And here is Jay Bruce. Bruce reaching on a fielder's choice. Had a little tapper right in front of home plate. Pena made the out at third base on that batted ball in the first. High fly ball to center field. And Lorenzo Cain will squeeze it. And the side is retired. A leadoff triple comes in to score on a sac fly. And the Mets have the early lead tonight.
Bartolo Colon, the Rangers pitcher, celebrating another trip around the sun, his 45th birthday. And that's significant because since 1901, only 22 position players have had at least one at-bat at the age of 45. And the only other 40-year-old in the big leagues right now is Fernando Rodney, also to be pitching in the big leagues at the age 45. Just 20 pitchers in history have done it. So happy birthday to Bartolo Colon. 11 different teams in his 21-year career.
It's interesting that, and he's in primary roles. He's 40 plus. Rodney's the closer, and then Bartolo Colon's in the rotation for the New York Mets. Lorenzo Cain with a little flare that will fall, a base hit. Yeah, good start to the bottom of the third. The Brewer leadoff hitter is on. He'll take that one.
Yeah, we just saw Rodney. He's with the Twins.
Cain using all of that bat to deliver a single to right field. And the Brewers have a lead man on here in the third inning for Christian Yelich. Yelich does have 3 hits against Steven Matz in his career, playing in the same division. And that hit him. That clipped him on the elbow. And the Brewers are going to have their first 2 reach here, a single and a hit batter. First-year manager Mickey Callaway, former pitching coach in Cleveland. Yeah, you could hear it. The double tick.
Yeah, right on the back elbow.
Mike Winters all over it. Sometimes you use your ears as much as your eyes on a play like that. Well, that sets the Brewers up nicely here in the third. Getting into the heart of their order now with 2 on and nobody out. Mets just scored in the top of the third on a sac fly and RBI from Wilmer Flores.
It's amazing, 45 years old, huh? Still pitching. Satchel Paige was 47 when he finally retired. He was a rookie at 42.
Didn't they bring Minnie Minoso back when he was 50? Kind of, it was more of a stunt than a.
Yeah, I think you're right.
On a legitimate contract. Ryan Braun at 34 years of age. Oldest Brewer among the active players. Braun drafted in 05. That was quite the draft class in 05. And the biggest discussion that the Brewers had, the Brewers and the Rockies were debating who to take, Troy Tulowitzki or Ryan Braun. Rockies took Tulowitzki. Braun went with the 5th pick. Was in the big leagues 2 years later. Won Rookie of the Year over Tulowitzki in 07. Bouncing ball to short. Rosario goes to second. Out there. Throw to first. Not in time. Braun beats it out.
And he can still run.
The collision at second base as Cabrera is down on the ground. He and Yelich colliding.
Well, as long as you maintain connection with second base, there's nothing wrong with it. He gets down, just stays on the bag. That's the key to it. He didn't lift anything. Legs didn't go up. Hands didn't go up. That's a good slide. And Braun just does beat it at first base.
You could tell Cabrera the second base position is new to him. Long time shortstop. And while ground balls aren't a big issue, the pivot is a completely different skill set for a second baseman compared to a shortstop.
A lot of times you're blind. You don't see the runner until you turn around. You never know where he's at. And you never get really your momentum toward first base when you're making that throw, when you're turning a double play at second base.
The footwork there allowed Braun to reach. Keeps the inning alive for the Brewers here with just 1 out and Jesus Aguilar at the plate. First and third. And then watching the slide of Yelich, I think Cabrera is pretty fortunate he came out of that as good as he did. We've seen infielders get broken legs and busted up ankles. You plant that foot right in the baseline, you're asking for it.
Yeah. And just as Jim Gantner, right? Blew his knee out on the play at second base. That right knee took a pounding right there.
Aguilar takes a ball inside. Well, can the big man stay hot? He's up in another RBI situation. Has 23 ribbies for the Brewers. Only Travis Shaw has more. Shaw has 31. Aguilar with just 2 hits on the homestand, but he's driven in 3 runs. First and third, 1 out. Braun goes. Aguilar swings and fouls it off.
First curveball he's throwing. Don't remember too many curveballs. There was one that time. Threw a couple to Zach Davies, but there's that curveball down and in. Braun looked like he had that one stolen.
Well, it's good to see Braun running. Means he's feeling well. No complications with that back strain or that back tightness. See if he goes again. 1-2 the count on Aguilar. And Nats will check on Braun this time. Braun has 4 steals. He's been caught twice. Kane at third, Braun at first. Aguilar takes a ball inside as Matt straightens him up.
Boy, a lot of fastballs in. And one time he went away, and particularly to Ryan Braun, he crushed it to right.
Another one inside, misses. 3-2 the count.
Might have been a changeup.
Mats has been inconsistent for the Mets. He's had a hard time getting deep into games or even in the middle innings. Big spot for Aguilar. He's got it into a full count, and Mats will check on Braun. Little courtesy throw over there.
3-2, 1 out. Might see Braun try and take off again. That's why he threw over.
Aguilar takes a ball. Ball 4. Bases are loaded. Aguilar didn't bite. Well, for a power hitter, a guy who has an intimidating presence at the plate, you'd expect a guy who struck out a lot. He's got great plate discipline.
He does. He waits back. He shortens up with 2 strikes. We saw that yesterday. That big base hit into center field with 2 strikes. Yeah, he's just a good hitter. He's just not a power hitter. He can hit.
Hernan Perez with the bases loaded. He drove one to right. He sent Bruce back to the wall in right field his last time up. At the very least, trying to hit one in the air to the outfield. It won't take one too deep to get Kane home. He runs extremely well. 2-0 the count. Mets get a run in the top of the 3rd on a sac fly. Brewers threatening here in the bottom of the 3rd. Perez takes a strike.
Took a little off again.
The numbers for Perez, much better hitter ahead, as most are, but his numbers are massive. Oh, a pop-up. That's not going to do it. Infield fly rule is the call, and a big out for Steven Matz to get out number 2.
Yeah, particularly ahead in the count. Had a good pitch to hit. Fastball, plenty of the plate. 94. You can see the expression on Perez's face. Knew he missed a good one.
So 2 men are gone. Bases still loaded. And it'll be Manny Pena now. All the success the Brewers have had this year offensively, they do not have a grand slam yet. Pena takes a strike.
You calling one?
Sensing a moment here, Rock. Could be all the dogs in the ballpark, though, getting me off my scent. Rally dog.
Pulling him off. That's nice.
1 ball, 1 strike. Down in the dirt. Good play back there by Mesoraco. And now Pena has the count in his favor.
Yeah, good opportunity for Mesoraco to get some playing time. He wasn't getting a whole lot with the Reds. Nice block. Shifting over and it's squaring up.
Good shot of that spike curveball he throws. 2-1. Pena in the air, right center field. Bruce is on the run. He's got it for the out. Just missed it on the bat. And the Brewers come up empty. They load the bases with 1 away, fail to score. A reminder, you can join Fox Sports Wisconsin as we inspire girls to be healthy and confident at the Girls on the Run of Southeastern Wisconsin Spring 5K. It's presented by Brewers Community Foundation, and it happens on Saturday, June 2nd at Miller Park. To register, visit girlsontherunsoutheasternwi.org/5K. Bark at the Park night at Miller Park. Brewers are down a run, 1-0 Mets on a sac fly by Wilmer Flores in the third. Zach Davies facing Michael Conforto to start this fourth inning. Davies returning from the disabled list here tonight. Last start against the Cubs went 5 2/3, 2 earned runs. It was a fly ball off the end of the bat, routine for Lorenzo Cain. And there is out number 1. Well, the Brewers players excited about this Bark at the Park night, sending us some pictures of their dogs. There's Jimmy Nelson and Cain, and Matt Alber's dog Mazzy. That's probably the headliner right there. It's a large man with a bike with a basket on it and a dog in it. Squirt.
They're inseparable, those two.
By the way, Ed Cedar was the connect point for Hank the dog. He's the one who found Hank and
rescued him
during spring training, brought him into the Brewers clubhouse in spring training and fed him every day, gave him water.
Players took turns taking him home at night.
That's where Hank was discovered. It's all thanks to that guy right there, Ed Cedar.
Big heart, Eddie Cedar.
Best profile in the big leagues. There it is.
And a heck of a coach.
Yeah, he is. Been around a long time. We have a
good time with Eddie.
Over 2 decades with the Brewers.
He's does a lot of hard work out there. Does a good job.
Bouncing ball to third base. Nice easy hop for Perez. Strong throw in time for out number 2.
Eddie's got like 30 years in the organization. He was a minor league manager for many, many years before getting a shot at the major league level.
Yeah, he and Lorenzo Cain forged a great relationship back when Cain was a minor leaguer coming up, and that was one of the first names that Lorenzo Cain mentioned when he re-signed or signed to return to Milwaukee in that free agent deal. Lorenzo said, "I'm going to be rejoined with one of my favorite coaches of all time, Ed Cedar."
Yeah.
Ed Cedar gave Lorenzo Cain his number. Out to Cain, that is hooking, and that is down. A base hit for Adrian Gonzalez. 2-out single for the Mets first baseman.
He didn't give it, he sold it.
Yeah, what were the terms of that sale of the number 6, which Ed used to wear?
Well, it's not one big gift. You know, a lot of guys will give a watch or something, you know, for, taking over a number. And I think it's like the 12 days of Christmas between Ed Cedar and Lorenzo Cain. Eddie gets to pick 12 different things throughout the year.
I wonder where that stands at this point.
I think we're on, the 4th day of Christmas. Eddie's going to stretch this out as long as he can.
He takes a lot of time. I think it puts a lot of pressure on Lorenzo, awaiting for the next gift request to drop. Steven Matz, the Mets pitcher, takes a strike. What number did Ed go to? 0, right?
0, yeah.
Number 0. 0's not a number, but the number he wears. I remember he wanted to go with number 80, because then when people would yell out to him on the road and they'd say, "Hey, 80," it would sound like they're saying Eddie.
Eddie, yeah. Good one. Never heard that.
That was his first plan. I don't think 80 went over very well with Jason Schauger, the equipment manager. 2 balls and a strike. This is a hitter that Davies needs to take care of quickly, the opposing pitcher, who has 1 hit this year.
Yeah, 3-1 count.
Try to make this a clean inning, as clean as he can after the single by Gonzalez. 3-1 and right down the middle for a strike. Steven Matz had 4 RBIs in his first start as a Met a few years back. Lashes that one foul. Matter of fact, his rookie year, he hit 286. Terrific athlete.
Puts a good swing on the baseball. I saw him last time up, almost able to tuck one inside the first baseline for a double. This year a little bit different. Only 1 hit.
Davies trying to pour in the strikes on Matz. Gonzalez goes. Matz grounds 1 foul. He's hanging in there. Second matchup of the year between Matz and Davies. They squared off back on April 13th. Mets took 2 out of 3 from the Brewers. Matz won that game. 8th pitch of the at-bat coming. And he popped him up in the infield. Orlando Arcia is there. He's calling, and that will retire the side. It is 1-0 New York. Bottom of the 4th. The Brewers are coming to bat.
Fourth. And it's Brewers Community Foundation Week all week long at Miller Park. And during the homestand from now through Wednesday, fans can stop by BCF's table at Miller Park on the field level's 3rd base side to spin their prize wheel, play games like Plinko and Blind Baseball Grab, shop for all kinds of deals. And all of those proceeds are going to very important charities with Brewers Community Foundation. So certainly encourage you to check that out. And Tyler Saladino is leading off the inning, and he's had quite an impact for the Brewers in his first 10 games. It's a .429 average for him and 3 home runs, and that's created a challenge for manager Craig Counsell to just keep him in the lineup every night. And he said you can't ignore just how exceptionally he's been playing. He's been a terrific defender, playing at shortstop. He's in at second base tonight. But he said it's also a difficult balance. He also wants to get shortstop Orlando Arcia going at the plate, and he says Arcia is obviously a premier defender. They rely on his defense all season long. He has played shortstop as well as anybody in the big leagues this year. So it's a good problem for Counsell to have right now, trying to keep both of them in the lineup.
All right, Sophia, thanks. And as Sogard continues to try to get his swing back together in the minor leagues, Saladino's picked right up where Sogard was last year. Remember when Sogard burst onto the scene in May in San Diego, had an 8 RBI series.
Yeah.
Unexpected source of production, and Saladino has been just that this season.
You can't have enough veteran guys that have been in the big leagues before on your bench to be able to use whenever you need them, coming in late in games.
Down the line, foul.
There's a lot of veteran. There's a lot of experience on the bench for the Brewers right now, and that's a good thing as the season goes on.
Yeah, that's when you know you have a good ball club, when you have players on the bench that get regular playing time as starters and contribute as starters. 2-2 the count. Saladino fouls it away. Tyler was acquired from the White Sox on April 19th. He spent parts of 4 years with Chicago on the south side. And down he goes. A strikeout for Matz. Strikes out his first batter of the 4th inning. That's his second K.
He reached back a little bit right there. A couple of back-to-back 95-mile-an-hour fastballs. Cruising speed for Matt's about 93.
Orlando Arcia now with 1 away. Arcia in the middle of a grind at the plate right now. Had the day off yesterday. The good news about Arcia, he hasn't taken his offensive woes to the field, and in his position at the shortstop position, he can have a major impact on a game even when he's not hitting. Arcia is 0 for his last 13 at the plate.
He's still showing a real good attitude. Loves to play the game, plays the game with a lot of energy, not just during the game, but even doing batting practice and pre-game warm-ups.
Arcia on the ground to short. Rosario's got a long throw in time for the out. One shortstop to another.
Hey, the Brewers and Cardinals collide in a 3-game series at Miller Park this coming Monday through Wednesday. Check out the complete schedule. That includes $1 hot dogs on Memorial Day. Can we say that today?
Sure.
Hot dogs on Bark at the Park Day. And half-price tickets for kids and seniors Wednesdays at brewers.com. $1 hot dogs. Yes, I'm in.
Your dog kind of looks like a hot dog.
Yeah.
About the size of a hot dog.
Rupert, miniature dachshund. I asked if he wanted to come today, but he said he had plans.
It's very social, as we've discussed. Nah, look at that picture.
Yeah.
That's brand new Rupert right there, huh?
Yeah, how do you not hug that, right?
Good looking dog.
Yep. Rupert's good boy. Travels well.
Davies takes a ball low. I love this night at the ballpark here, the Bark at the Park, raising money for a great cause as well, the Humane Society. Chopper to short. Rosario coming in, and he'll take care of Davies to end the inning. Best inning of the night for Matz. 3 up, 3 down with a strikeout. 4 in the books at Miller Park.
to a 1-0 lead. Checking in on our Brewers minor league report, brought to you by UW Whitewater. Outfielder Brett Phillips last night went 2 for 4 with a home run, an RBI, and a walk. That was an extra innings loss for the Colorado Springs Sky Sox. But on the season, Phillips has a .278 average, 6 doubles, 3 triples. The home run, as we told you, and 8 RBIs. And we remember what he did last year, the impact that he had, and probably likely to see him back with the team at some point this year. And Keon Broxton had a 2-hit night in that game as well.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Good stuff on a Thursday night. Good to have Sophia back with us. Figured we'd let her take a few days off, I guess. I don't know about that.
Yeah, well,
you know, guys like you and me here every day.
Everybody needs time off, right?
Somewhere Matt LePage just fell off his chair. Or his exercise ball.
I'm not going to tell you what he just texted me.
To the 5th we go. It's 1-0 Mets. They scored in the 3rd. Wilmer Flores drove in Brandon Nimmo on a sac fly. Nimmo had tripled to start the inning. Brewers had a chance in the bottom of the 3rd, had the bases loaded with 1 out, but Mats retired Perez and Pena, and the Brewers came up empty. So Davies carries on. He's got a 3-hitter going. Ahmed Rosario, New York's 9-hole hitter. Their pitcher bats 8th. So it's Rosario, Nimmo, and Cabreras. Davies gets into the 3rd time through the batting order. He's fallen behind 3-0 to a free swinger in Rosario. Last year, the Brewers won 5 of 7 from the Mets. Brewers dropped 2 out of 3 in their series in April. Strike 2. The Mets spent 25 days in first place in April during that stretch. And they got to 11-1 while the Brewers were there, as a matter of fact. They got off to a great start on the year. 11-1 the record. That's in the hole, and that's going to be through for a base hit. Rosario on a 2-strike pitch singles into left, and it's a lead man on for the Mets for the 3rd time.
Yeah, 11-1, and that was before all the injuries hit. You know, Frazier, Cespedes, and they're 13-20 since. Hanging in there, a seeing eye single threads a needle between Perez and Arcia.
Lead man on for a hot hitter in Brandon Nimmo. Nimmo with the 4th triple of the season in the 3rd. He's tied for 2nd in the National League in triples, and that ball's ripped into right field, and Yelich can't get there. It's off the wall. Rosario had to hold up to make sure, so he'll end up at 3rd base. And Brandon Nimmo has 3 hits tonight.
Boy, he is seeing the ball well against Zach Davies for sure. Yeah, fastball that time, and he turns it around, a liner. Yeah, Yelich's not able to get back. 90 down the middle at the knees, but boy, oh boy, that was crushed.
Come up with a new game plan on this guy.
Well, he's hit curveballs, he's hitting fastballs. Not sure what you do.
7 total bases already for Nimmo in his 3 at-bats. 3 for 3. 2 doubles and a triple. 4th double of the year to go along with 4 triples. And that brings up Asdrubal Cabrera now. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. Corners are in. Last time in this situation with a runner at 3rd and nobody out, Cabrera broke his bat. A little soft liner to 1st.
A little risky. Craig Counsell bringing the infield in the corners halfway up the middle. You expose yourself to a little flare to score 2 runs, especially with your 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up.
Well, he figured Davies has 2 batters to try to get it organized in this inning. Left-hander Dan Jennings is warming in the bullpen. That ball's ripped into the gap in left center, and this will play 2. All the way to the wall it goes. Rosario and Nimmo score. It's a 2 RBI double for Cabrera, and the Mets have a 3-0 lead in the 5th. Cabrera has been a doubles machine this year for the Mets. That's number 15 on the season.
That's second in the National League. Only Eric Hosmer has more. This ball ticketed to the gap. He hits this one about as hard as you can. And driving in a couple of runs. Still nobody out. That's going to be it for Zach Davies.
First start back from the disabled list. And Counsell will make the move. 3-0 Mets. We're in the 5th. Here comes Dan Jennings. Make it 3 in a row at the Coca-Cola 600 on Fox. All starts at 4:30. You can stream it live on Fox Sports Go as well. Zach Davies out of the game in the 4th. He goes 4+. Faces 3 batters in the 5th inning here. Gives up 3 straight hits to start the inning, and that's his night. 3 runs earned, 1 still his responsibility. And Craig Counsell goes to his left-hander, Dan Jennings.
And pitched last on Sunday against the Twins, so it's been a while for Jennings. 2 scoreless innings. Has been unscored upon in 18 of 23 appearances so far this year. And nobody out, a man at second base, and certainly, as we kind of maybe thought, it was location issues for Zach Davies. You can't expect to be on the corners down all the time when you miss 3 weeks.
Well, hopefully Davies' shoulder checks out well and he can start to get back in his rhythm. So it's Jennings trying to pick him up here in the 5th. First ball swinging Flores. Brewers acquiring Jennings from the Tampa Bay Rays. He was let go by the Rays right at the end of spring training. Not because of performance either. It was mostly because of the salary he was drawing, and Rays in a bit of a rebuild mode, so they were interested in giving those bullpen slots to younger pitchers, lower priced pitchers. And the Brewers jumped on him quickly. Arrived with the Brewers the 2nd day of the season. At the time, the Brewers had Boone Logan on the disabled list. So feeling like they needed another lefty. Logan's back now. Tricep strain had him out for a month.
And Jennings has done a real good job in situations like this. Only 4 of 16 inherited runners have scored.
Little jam shot. That's going to fall. A base hit. Cabrera got a great jump, and he's going to score. And the Mets are up 4-0.
And make that 5 of 17 inherited runners. Mets have come into town really not swinging the bats all that well. Already 7 hits. 4 runs on the board, and even though Flores gets jammed, able to muscle it out into center field. And a good jump by Cabrera to score.
Yeah, he had a good read on that. So Flores has his second RBI of the game. Has a walk, a sac fly, and now a single. 4-0 Mets on 7 hits. And now a couple of left-handers for Jennings to face. Jay Bruce, Michael Conforto. Close the book on Zach Davies. 4+ innings, 4 runs all earned. Davies has had his troubles with the Mets this year. Zach's given up 20 earned runs on the season, 9 of those in 2 games against the Mets.
Yeah, go figure, right? I mean, it's one of those things. Maybe just doesn't match up all that well, but you look at the averages for the guys that right now are active for the Mets against Davies. The numbers really aren't that great. Cabrera, though, 5 for 9 coming in. He's got a double and a couple of RBIs.
High drive to right, hooked foul. Bruce out ahead of 1.
Yeah, look like a slider that Jennings left up in his zone, and unfortunately for him, Bruce hooked it foul.
Bruce traded from the Reds to the Mets last year and then ends up signing a deal, a free agent deal with the Mets. That free agent market kind of busted. And Jay Bruce signed a deal that most would say was a bargain considering where he was trending a few years ago. 3-year $39 million deal, which is a lot of money, but not the kind of dollars that outfielders of his caliber were demanding just 2 years ago even.
Yeah.
Think about the deal Dexter Fowler signed. There's a fly ball into right field. Yelich on the run, and Yelich makes the catch. The speedy Christian Yelich runs it down, taking extra bases away from Bruce.
Right, another hard hit ball. Every ball in this inning has been hit right on the barrel. And maybe the base hit by Rosario, that seeing eye single in the left, but everything else hit very hard. Yelich, good closing speed, got a good jump, and able to save another extra base hit. That ball gets by, and Wilmer Flores is probably going to score.
First out of the inning after 4 straight hits to start the inning. And here is Michael Conforto. Big curveball strike from Jennings.
I think the Cardinals are really trying, would probably rather rethink that deal to Dexter Fowler. He's having a rough start this season. The operative word is money that they were expecting. That's not the case anymore.
That's kind of like that house you're trying to sell, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you think it's worth. Matters what the offer is.
What the going rates are, right? What are the comps? They've changed this year.
Well, Jay Bruce and Lorenzo Cain were the 2 big outfield free agents this offseason. Kane signing for 5 years here with the Brewers. Bruce got the 3-year deal. A ball and 2 strikes. Conforto takes one off the plate. Well, the red hot Brewers find themselves in a hole tonight. Winners of 10 of their last 13 games, trailing 4-0 tonight in the 5th. Still plenty of time though to get back into it. A little slow roller to second. Saladino to Arcia. And they get the lead out at second base. Second out of the inning. Conforto replacing Flores at first. Mets will be here through Sunday. And don't forget day games this weekend as we hit the holiday weekend. Memorial Day weekend. Saturday is a 3:10 start, 2:30 on the air for us. Sunday 1:10 start on the air at 12:30 for the finale of the series. And then the Cardinals are in for Memorial Day, another 1:10 start. 3-game series with St. Louis. In all, it's a 10-game homestand through next Wednesday. For whatever reason, the Brewers have played better on the road than at home. 8 games over on the road, 4 games over at home. They've got a lot left on the stand before they do another 3-city road trip. Coming up next as we hit the month of June. Going to the south side, then to Cleveland, and then 3 with the Phillies.
Played 6 more games on the road than they have at home, not including tonight.
Good news is the schedule turns in their favor, and they played well on the road. So 2 things working in the Brewers' advantage right now. They haven't lost any games due to rain yet, when most of baseball has. And they're knocking out some of their heavy early road schedule.
The Cubs have only played 46 games.
How about that?
They've got a lot of games to make up.
I think they've lost 4 games due to weather at this point. They've made one of them up, but then they lost another one in Atlanta recently. That's a shot to center field. Devin Mesoraco keeps this inning going for the Mets. There's been some high exit velocity in this inning for New York.
Yes, there is. I mean, they are barreling up this inning.
5th hit of the inning.
That fastball from Jennings out over the plate. Mesoraco, look at the extension on it. Lines it hard into center field. Everything hit very hard in this inning.
Well, 2 men are out. It's the 8th batter of the inning. Adrian Gonzalez. Brewers still in punching distance here, but this is a key batter right now for Dan Jennings. Gonzalez could bust it open here, and a high fly ball, shallow right. Saladino give way to Yelich, and that will retire the side. Mets get 3 though. It's 4-0 New York. Brewers have their work cut out for them tonight. We head to the bottom of the 5th.
No matter where you serve or when you served, we stand ready to serve all military families.
Hey, look who's here tonight, Rock. Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Don't look at me like that. I know who he is.
I wanted you to say his name.
Giannis. I don't know how to say his last name.
Earlier today, they named him to the All-NBA second team. That's a big honor for Giannis Antetokounmpo. He will be a first-team All-NBA, I believe, soon.
Yeah.
Might be an MVP soon. We'll see.
Fun to watch.
Working on his game. He's got a brand new head coach, Mike Budenholzer, who was in the booth with us on Monday. Here is Lorenzo Cain. Sends one to left field. And out number one.
Did you think I didn't know who that was?
Oh, no, I knew you knew who it was. I was just trying to encourage you to take a swing at his last name.
Everybody calls him Giannis.
His friends call him Giannis.
Antetokounmpo.
That's pretty good. Antetokounmpo. That's good. Should get him here in the booth. And sit on your ball. This giant exercise ball you have up here.
I like it. Get a little workout doing a game.
Yeah. Working on the abs. Ever since that unfortunate on camera earlier this homestand, you've gone a little sensitive now. And
yeah, well. There's some fur flying after that happened.
The truck was bullying you this week. Yelich goes to the opposite field. Nice play, Cabrera, or rather Rosario, and cannot get Yelich. Heck of a play by Ahmed Rosario. But Yelich has a base hit. Brewers need base runners, and they get one with one away in the fifth.
Yeah, too much speed for Rosario to make a play on this. Good job just getting to it. No chance at first base. You're better off just holding on to it. Mets an excellent defensive team, tied for third in the National League in errors. I mean, only 24 errors. Very tight defensively.
Mets have been taking a look at some of the analytics that show that their defense is improved. One of the areas they've acknowledged is the batting average with balls in play. Is Braun to third, got a chance to turn it here, and the Mets go around the horn. Nice pick over there by Gonzalez. 5-4-3 double play. The inning is over. To the sixth we go. 4-0 Mets.
Park, and the mayor of Ding Dong City has mandated that all fans who attend the Brewers game against the Mets this Sunday will get a one-of-a-kind Travis Shaw bobblehead courtesy of U.S. Cellular. Reserve your seats today at Brewers.com.
Shaw getting the day off today. Club leader in home runs and RBIs.
I'm going to be disappointed when that bobblehead day comes. I'm not going to be able to have that read again.
Well, you can keep it going for the rest of the year, and as long as Shaw's career goes.
I heard you saying, you know, the mayor of Ding Dong City went deep. What was that,
Yeah.
yesterday?
Last night, or yesterday afternoon.
Yeah. It's a catchy phrase.
Feels good to say.
It does.
All right, what do you got on Jorge Lopez here, partner?
Yeah, Jorge Lopez will eat up some innings for Craig Counsell if need be. Lopez last appeared in the game on May 16th at Arizona, so it's been a while for him. Tossed a scoreless ninth inning that included a couple of strikeouts. Got called up on May 13th. He's been up and down a few times this year.
Steven Matz, the pitcher at the plate for the Mets, his third plate appearance. So the third pitcher used for Counsell tonight. Davies goes 4+. Dan Jennings works an inning. All those runs belong to Davies tonight. Jennings gave up 2 hits, no runs. Let an inherited runner score. Jorge Lopez, longtime starter in the Brewers system. At one point, one of the higher rated prospects as a starter in the system. Things kind of plateaued for him a little bit in that role. Now he's reinventing himself as a reliever. Glad to be in the big leagues.
They're good buddies with Freddie Peralta. You know, they were up together when Peralta had his great game against the Rockies.
Perez will take care of Matz. Out number 1 for Lopez.
Yeah, Lopez, one of those guys that'll throw the kitchen sink at you. He'll make stuff up out there if he needs to. Not a hard thrower, mixes it up. Craig Counsell might be looking for a couple of innings out of him here tonight.
Counsell does not like defining roles in his bullpen, but if there was ever a man for the long relief role, it is Lopez. In a game like this, trying to keep the Mets at 4. All that'll change if the Brewers can score some runs and get back in it. But Lopez's value to the team is the fact he can go multiple innings. Rosario takes a ball. 1-1 the count.
Well, and again, this game is certainly within reach for the Brewers. They have come back on the Mets. They did it right here last Mother's Day with Jacob deGrom on the mound, and
hot one past Perez at third. Rosario with a base hit. He has 2 hits tonight. 2 out of 3.
Let's get another one right on the barrel. Fastball gets the head out. And Perez can't handle the hop. I would imagine that's got to be a base hit. That was hit hard. Yep, it is.
A runner on for Brandon Nimmo. 3 hits tonight, 2 doubles and a triple. Brandon Nimmo's last 5 at-bats, going back to yesterday's game against the Marlins. Homer, single, and then tonight, double, triple, double. 12 total bases in his last 5 at-bats. I'd say he's found something.
Well, what he's found is he's staying back and seeing the baseball very well, putting a good swing on it. All of his hits have come to right field. Let's see if Manny Pena elects to try and pitch him away.
Nimmo just 25 years of age, a former first rounder. Oh, had him out in front of that one. Good off-speed pitch by Lopez.
Nothing better than pulling the string on a 1-0 count. Good changeup. And has him way out in front.
Nimmo from the state of Wyoming. Aren't a lot of big leaguers from Wyoming. According to Baseball Reference, there have been 16 players in their database from the state of Wyoming. Tom Browning would probably be the most recognizable. Former left-handed pitcher of the Reds. Threw a no-hitter in the big leagues, Tom Browning.
Perfect game, I think.
Yeah, it was. What I remember most about Tom Browning is when he had his uniform on at Wrigley Field, sitting on top of
one of the rooftops.
One of the rooftops across from Sheffield.
Yeah.
In right field.
Not a good move.
That cost him a little cash.
Of course, if anybody can get away with it, it's a starting pitcher. Of course, it's not pitching that day.
Yeah, he put on like a coat, trench coat or something, then walked across the street. The visiting clubhouse is on the first base side, so he walked out inconspicuously, walked across the street, went up to the rooftop, shredded the coat, and then he was in full uniform in full sight in his actual game uniform, watching the Reds and the Cubs. There goes the runner, and it's ball 4. And Nimmo continues his perfect run at the plate. 6 straight plate appearances. He has not been retired.
At what point do you think about doing that and say to yourself, that's a good idea?
He made all the highlight shows.
Yeah.
Derek Johnson out to chat with Lopez. Brewers can ill afford to go down any more in this one. 4-0 will be tough enough, especially with the Mets bullpen. So 2 on, 1 away. Asdrubal Cabrera is coming up. I do think there is a growing trend among cold weather states of talented baseball players getting more opportunities because of the influx of indoor facilities now. There's a number of indoor facilities here in Wisconsin, and you're seeing a lot more players get the at-bats. That's a bouncing ball to Aguilar. It's fair. He'll take it to the bag for out number 2.
Yeah, a lot more opportunities for kids in Wisconsin to get swings in the cage, take ground balls, get their throwing in, but it's certainly not the same as getting actual live games outside. But it's a lot better than nothing. That's what we had, basically. Not a whole lot of opportunities to work out living in Wisconsin in the winter.
Went to an indoor facility. I believe it's called Sticks facility in Waukesha. And, they have nets all the way around. There's a full Major League infield in there. Major League dimensions. And you can hit in there. There's nets up around all the walls. You can get a good idea on ball flight. And, I mean, it's a tremendous facility. And you're starting to see a lot more players begin to develop. John Paul Morosi wrote a terrific story about that fact recently, MLB.com. On the ground, knocked down by Lopez, and Flores will be retired. That saves a run, and Lopez puts up a 0 in the 6th. The Brewers are down 4-0. Bottom of the 6th coming your way on Fox, Wisconsin.
Field in Chicago. The showstopper in baseball, Orioles starter Dylan Bundy delivered a complete game, allowed just 2 hits and a career-high 14 strikeouts against the White Sox this afternoon. It was a 9-3 win for the Orioles, allowed them to split that 4-game series with the White Sox. That's his second career complete game.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Good to see Dylan Bundy have some success. The Baltimore Orioles sitting at the bottom of that American League East. How about that, Rock? We haven't hit June yet, and the Orioles are 19 back. You talk about setting yourself up for a long year.
Right, and big win today, 9-3. A kind of an off day for the bullpen. Bundy provided.
Beautiful day in Chicago this afternoon, it looked like as well. Great day here in Milwaukee. Jesus Aguilar at the plate. Brewers needing base runners. Aguilar's down 0-2. Steven Matz is pitching well. Brewers had him on the ropes in the third. Had the bases loaded and 1 out, but could not score in that inning.
Hey, talking about Baltimore being so far back, but you know there are 14 teams in baseball that are within 4 games of first place.
It's a good sign.
A lot of teams bunched together.
14 of the 30. And a wave and a miss. That big curveball by Matz strikes out Aguilar.
Starting to mix that in a little bit more. There's that spiked curveball, left it up in the zone. I think Aguilar would like to have another crack at that pitch, a hanger. You can see Aguilar wears his emotions on his sleeve. He actually beat himself in the head with a bat when he walked back.
A strike on the curveball to Perez.
Don't do this at home.
Over to third. This is Flores. 2 outs. Matt's making it look easy right now. Has faced the minimum since the Brewers loaded the bases in that third inning. He did give up a single to Yelich, but wiped him out with a double play to Braun. That was last inning. 2 outs now. Here comes Manny Pena. Now the Brewers open play today with the best record in the National League. How about that? Only the Red Sox and the Yankees and the Astros have a better record than the Brewers. Those 3 American League teams, Boston and New York, separated by just a game and a half. Boston in the lead in that division. Red Sox have won 34 games. No National League team has won 30 yet. Brewers have 31. No other National League team.
That Boston Yankee is going to be a very fun thing to watch throughout the year.
Yeah, that rivalry's back in a big way. Red Sox have won 4 in a row. Former Brewers manager is with Boston now. Ron Renick's the bench coach for Alex Cora. First-year manager in Boston, first-year manager in New York with the Yankees and the Mets. Aaron Boone managing the Yankees. Mickey Callaway is here with the Mets. Pena draws a 2-out walk.
Third walk issued by Steven Matz. Well, let's see if Saladino can get a hold of one here, get the Brewers right back in this thing.
At the plate, presented by Wendy's. Saladino has a single that was in the second, and then Matt struck him out in the fourth. He struck him out with a big fastball. 2 gone. Saladino jumping on one.
Fastball's in, curveball's down. He's trying to get him down anyway. He hung one to Aguilar, he got away with. Change up every now and again.
Saladino's career best for homers in a big league season is 8. He did that in 93 games with the White Sox in 2016. He's hit 3 for the Brewers, including one yesterday to deep right center.
Almost hit the Toyota Highlander yesterday.
Do you win that if you hit it?
I think you do.
Or do you just have to pay for the damages?
Yeah, repair the dent, but it's yours.
I mean, a lot of Brewers fans would want to drive that Highlander around. I'm not sure how many Brewers players trying to be a little inconspicuous with that big ball and glove logo on the side. Runner goes, and a bouncing ball to short. And that's going to do it for the Brewers in the 6th. Mats is through 6, working on a 4-hit shutout. It's 4-0 Mets.
At Miller Park, tonight's starter, Zach Davies. There's a look at his 2 pups, Penelope and Zoe. Thanks to Megan Davies for those photos. Domino Jeffress, the dog of reliever Jeremy Jeffress. And Domino's had a big role here tonight. He was part of the pregame parade, along with Squirt Cedar, led by Eddie and JJ. And what's better than playing catch during a game with your own dog? There's JJ in the bullpen trying to get a ball up there to Domino, and Domino's been busy. He's been running the social media account for the Brewers. He was out on the field for the anthem. He was part of the pregame parade. So Domino might be having the best night tonight.
Great story by Ken Rosenthal in The Athletic today about Jeremy Jeffress and how he's been able to pitch here. And Domino's a big part of his recovery. You know, Jeremy Jeffress has had a couple of suspensions, drug suspensions in the past. He's been diagnosed with juvenile epilepsy. He fights a lot of that addiction temptation, but he's been able to stay clean, do a great job. And he says playing the game Fortnite, the video game, and his dog, Domino, has been a big part of that process.
Dogs are calming, I'll tell you. They're therapeutic.
Enjoyed that story by Ken Rosenthal in The Athletic today. That was a good one. Jay Bruce starting it for the Mets. Quickly down 1-2 in the count. Lopez back out for his 2nd inning. Craig Counsell, such a believer in how important the dog is to Jeremy Jeffress, Domino, that Craig Counsell's family drove that dog from Phoenix to San Diego for opening day. As Bruce with a swing and a miss. Out number 1. There's Jeremy with his dog Domino. Hank over there. I wonder if Domino thinks that's a real dog in there.
Yeah,
that is a huge dog.
Yeah, they're pretty smart. Now, do you think that gold collar that Domino has is actual real gold? I wouldn't be surprised.
It might be. Matches the one Jeremy wears. Might be Jeremy's, actually.
That's big league.
That's a dense dog right there.
Yeah.
Dense.
Don't mess with him either.
Jeremy's having a great year.
Yeah.
Off to the best start of his career.
He always pitches well here in Milwaukee.
Third tour with the Brewers.
Seems to struggle everywhere else.
Every time they trade him away, they get him back somehow.
Yeah.
And he is at home here in Milwaukee. Loves it here. There's a little soft liner for a base hit for Conforto. Single to left. Mets have another hit and another man on. 10 hits in the game tonight. Conforto snaps an 0 for 9 with that single. Every Met regular has a base hit, at least one hit in the game tonight. The only ofer in the lineup is the pitcher Matz, who's 0 for 3. Second inning for Lopez. Nice play back there by Pena.
Yeah, he's quick. He has made such a big impact on this Brewers pitching staff, and there's a stat out there. The Brewers are 20-9 when Manny Pena starts behind home plate. Important.
Yeah, that's a good number. Catcher's ERA important. The Mets catcher Devin Mesoraco here at the plate. That skips by Pena. Lopez spiked a fastball that time. Not a whole lot Manny could do about that. And Conforto is in with a wild pitch into second.
Yep, you anticipate the breaking pitches in the dirt, but you don't figure the fastball to be down there. That's why sometimes you don't have a lot of time to get down and block.
Devin Mesoraco's catcher's ERA, meaning the ERA of the pitchers when he's in the game, is in the low 2s, right around 2. Might be going under 2 with Matz's shutout tonight. That's an important stat. I remember Mike Scioscia, when he was the catching coordinator of the Dodgers before his managerial days, he used to have us as minor league broadcasters in the Dodgers system keep those numbers for his catchers. He always placed great value on that. There's a liner, and it's off the glove of Perez down into left field. That's going to get into the corner. Another run's going to score, and it is 5-0 Mets. On their 11th hit of the game, Mesoraco's second.
Well, that fastball literally right down the middle, 94 for Lopez, but just out of the reach of Perez and down into the corner. Another run in. He timed his leap perfectly, but just not able to get up high enough to grab it. I tell you, the Mets have squared up a ton of baseballs tonight.
Yep.
There's been a lot of hard line drives.
That one left the bat just shy of 99 miles an hour. As Gonzalez down the left field line, foul. 5 runs on 11 hits for the Mets. Mets had 10 hits combined in the last 2 games in those 2 losses against Miami. 11 on the board tonight. We're only in the 7th inning. 1 out in the 7th.
Mets already have half as many hits as the Diamondbacks had in 6 games against Milwaukee.
That's a good number.
22 hits for the Diamondbacks in 6 games.
That was a major league record for futility in a 6-game series. If you're looking at it from Arizona's perspective.
Right. And the Mets have 11 in 7 innings tonight.
0-2 the count. 1-2 now. Yeah, Arizona shattered that record. Not a record you want to be a part of, but the record had been 26 hits. The fewest hits in a 6-game season series was 26. It is now 22. Ground ball. Aguilar's got it. Slides to his knees in time for the out. Nice play by the nimble 300-pound first baseman.
Yeah, well, if he can get to it, he's going to make the play normally. I mean, he's got good hands, has good presence out there. Realizes he's got to get that baseball quickly to Lopez, who gets the ball, finds a bag, and turns around to see where the runner is. Mesoraco. Not the greatest range, but again, if he can get to it more times than not, he's going to be able to make the play.
2 outs in the inning. Mesoraco advances to third. And here is Jose Bautista now, one of the newest Mets. Former All-Star with the Blue Jays. Had been with Atlanta. Was released by the Braves and then quickly signed by the Mets.
All the injuries that the Mets have had, looking for a little bit of pop in that lineup. Mets haven't hit many home runs this year.
Bautista arrived to the Mets on Tuesday. Started that game Tuesday night. Had yesterday off. Had a pinch hit appearance yesterday. He took no time getting in the lineup either. He was eager to get playing. I think it was only a day of travel time after he was released by the Braves that he ended up with the Mets and in uniform and in the lineup. "37 years of age, Jose Bautista. One of the great success stories offensively in the game, from what he was with the Pirates to what he became with the Blue Jays. And he draws the walk.
Everything inside of Bautista. They didn't want to give him anything out over the plate. Lopez just continued to miss in off the corner. That's where you want to miss to that guy.
Derek Johnson on his way to the mound. It's just one of those nights for Brewer pitchers tonight. Davies struggled. Jennings gave up a couple of hits. Now Lopez scuffling to get through. Bullpen phones ringing. Boone Logan loosening out there. So Derek Johnson has had his say.
Rosario has jumped on a couple of fastballs. Inner half of the plate, hit them both to left. Maybe Derek Johnson wanted to remind him, maybe work him away a little bit. Keep the ball down. Don't miss inside.
First and third with 2 away. Lopez missing low with a fastball. Ahmed Rosario Young shortstop with 2 hits tonight. 2 for 3. And Rosario takes ball 3. Lopez trying to fight his way through the 7th. 2 outs in the inning, and there's a strike.
Generous call by Mike Winters.
It's a go figure game. Mets have delivered tonight. They played a 3-game series against the Marlins. Only had 14 at-bats with runners in scoring position in a 3-game series. Had 1 hit in 14 at-bats. Tonight they're 3 for 10. A lot of traffic on the bases tonight.
Yeah.
Runner goes, and a throw to third. And now they've got the runner picked off. Throw to first. He's out. Whoa, the Brewers steal an out from the Mets. Bautista got caught off the bag. And Perez executes it perfectly. The out at first.
That's just a nice play by Hernan Perez, and a good throw, good tag. He's out. End of inning, so the defense helps out Lopez.
1 to 5 to 3 to end the inning. Brewers down 5-0. No challenge from Mickey Callaway. We head to the bottom of the 7th. By Miller Lite, great taste and only 96 calories. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Sling TV, live TV you love only better. Roof is open on a picture-perfect night for baseball on a Thursday in Milwaukee. 5-0 Mets. Brewers trying to get things turned around offensively. And now to the bullpen goes Mickey Callaway. Paul Sewald is on to pitch for the Mets. Arcia takes ball 1.
Yeah, last appearing in the game on the 21st against the Marlins. 2/3 scoreless. Sewald 0-3 this year. He is 0-9 to start his major league career. Has not picked up a win. 9 losses.
Brewers trying to get some action from the bottom of their order. Arcia, the 8th place hitter. You'll have Jonathan Villar hit next. He'll pinch hit for Lopez. Lopez goes 2 innings, giving up the 1 run. Nice little pickoff move allowing the Brewers to get out of that last inning, catching Bautista.
That must have been a play that they were going to use, because what are the chances that he goes to third and Perez is on his way over there? That was a design play, but the Brewers were fortunate that Bautista was too far off the bag.
I think that play is not designed at all to try to get it out at third base as Arcia swings and misses. I think it's only to jumpstart, see if Bautista takes off, which he did. Now the Brewers had a chance at an out.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to go to fake the third and go to first anymore.
It's like the hockey assist, right?
Yeah,
you go to third to get the out at first. That was brilliant. I remember the Brewers were working on that play in spring training this year. They did a number of different pickoff moves. I was asking Pat Murphy, about a throw to third base. He goes, well, a lot of times hitters, or runners I should say, at first base, they see that leg lift because it's such an odd move from a right-handed pitcher. They don't think there's any other option other than to throw home. So you know how a left-handed pitcher will lift a leg and throw to first,
right?
And you have to be leery of that. You hardly ever see that from a right-hander to third base.
Well, that play right there replaces the fake the third, go to first play.
That's right.
That's a balk now. If you do that, if you attempt to go to third base, you have to throw it to third base. Didn't used to be that way. Back in the old days, not that long ago, you could fake that throw right there and step off and get an out, get a guy in a rundown. A good throw, good tag, and they get the out, inning over.
Well, file that one away. That's a nice little wrinkle the Brewers have added defensively. But you're right, that old fake to third, throw to first, that was a pretty common play when runners were at first and third, when you thought the runner at first might be running, hoping that he would take off as soon as you lifted the leg. And I like that. I saw it this spring. I'd never seen anything like that before. VR gets jammed and a bouncer to Rosario. 2 outs in the inning.
Are you ready for tonight's time of the game winner, partner?
Sure.
Litz's Village Inn in Pine Creek, if they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. They get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Pine Creek. I don't remember a Pine Creek bar winning. That's in western Wisconsin, Trempealeau County.
You're saying we might have a first on the Tavern League of Wisconsin?
I'm just saying that. I don't remember.
Oh, so if you don't remember, then there's been no Pine Creek offering in the last 3 days. That's about the extent of your memory.
Yesterday.
Lorenzo Cain into right field. That ball's hit pretty well, slicing and foul.
Did you hear about our beer making contest? Matt LePay and I went and brewed a beer. You haven't heard about this?
I feel like,
or you just choose not to think about it?
I feel like there was an initial conversation and then I really wasn't a factor in this, so then I lost interest. Please tell us about it next half inning.
Well, if you're interested, I think it's kind of struck a nerve, actually.
I'm going to drum up some interest during this commercial timeout. 5-0
of the Tavern.
thus far. 5-0 Mets. They have found Nimmo. Badger Mutual Insurance plays of the game. This guy with 3 hits and a walk tonight, including 2 doubles and a triple.
What's it been on 7 times in or 6 times in a row now, right? That's right, dating back to yesterday. He's pulled everything to right field. He's got a walk. And Boone Logan takes over here in the 8th. And Logan much better his last time out. I think he had that slider working, got an out. Trying to retire left-handers. He's made a good living doing that over his career. 7th appearance for Boone Logan.
ERA is high in the small sample size this year. But Logan figures to be a big piece of the Brewers bullpen. He was a free agent acquisition. Brewers carrying 3 left-handers in their bullpen right now. Logan, Hader, who's been lights out and the talk of baseball, and then Dan Jennings, who we saw earlier in this game. Rosario was at the plate when Bautista was caught off the bag at first. Starts an at bat anew here. 2 hits tonight, 2 singles. I'm dying to hear about this beer making contest.
I'm just waiting for you to get through your setup of the inning, and then maybe we can get into the beer brewing contest. Matt LePay and I went over to the Miller Brewing Company, Miller Coors, on an off day, and we brewed our own beer, our own concoction. We had some help. Master brewer over at Miller Coors, Troy, helped us out. He kind of gave us the ground rules, and we made our beer. We're going to be able to taste it sometime in June here. And then Josh Hader and Taylor Williams went over a few days later, made their own beer. And there's going to be a game in July where fans can buy a special ticket package where you get to taste both beers. You get a mug.
Okay.
And there's going to be a contest. Which one's better?
As a called strike 3 as Logan strikes out Rosario for the first out. And what does the winner win?
Bragging rights.
Come on, man. You got to win something for having the best beer.
Well, we haven't really gotten together, and we're going to have a tasting of both beers sometime in June.
How much decision making went into this beer?
You'd be surprised. We did a lot of thinking about it.
What did you add to it?
I will tell you this, that between Matt LePay and I know that we've drank more beer than those 2 guys.
Just sheer volume of years on the planet.
But anyway, no, there's nothing really, you win. And we're going to have our own little wager, perhaps. I don't think we can compete with the dollar amounts they might be thinking of. But
do you feel like excessive beer drinking in this case helps you in your product?
Without a doubt.
Did you put anything in there that you can tell us?
I'd rather not. We have to come and taste it. It's going to be good. It's going to be a lager.
Barley?
No.
Hops?
Well, there's all that in there, yeah. It's going to be a light lager. Ours is. With a couple of special flavors thrown in there.
Okay.
We're going to see if you're going to have some with us.
Sure. Have a little taste.
Really? Okay. And I want you to try
I can already feel my eyebrows crinkling up, though.
I want you to try and identify the special 2 flavors that are in there.
Okay.
That's where the volume of beer comes in.
It didn't come off your forehead, did it?
No, maybe.
I'm a little concerned about that.
Not by design. No, we were well clothed. Put us together on smocks. But it was fun. We had a good time over there. They treated us well. Troy helped us with that. Our buddy Jim Cantor over at Miller Coors set it all up. And there's going to be a contest. Fans are going to help us name the beer.
Okay.
That's coming soon. There's going to be 3 choices.
This is very exciting.
Yeah.
Broken bat ground ball. Nimmo beats it out for a single. Can't get this guy out. On base 5 times in his first 4-hit game of his career. Even when he breaks his bat, he reaches.
Yeah, some kind of stretch he's on right now.
He is a home run shy of the cycle.
Ate him up inside. Not a whole lot you can do about it, but and Logan there in time, but Nimmo sniffing base hit. Look at him. He's chugging along and really not even close at first.
1 out base runner. Here is the switch hitter Cabrera. Turns around, hits right-handed. Had a big hit for the Mets back in the 5th inning, part of the 3-run 5th 2 RBI double for Asdrubal Cabrera. They call the highlight the champagne of beers. What are they going to call your beer? The backwash of beers?
No. Don't be playing around. We got a good beer. Don't be influencing anybody out there.
I'm with you. I bet
Let's
it's
go
good.
now. So you're trying to sabotage the whole thing.
I trust you. I trust your beer making ability.
You're insinuating I'm sweating in the beer.
Give it that special rock flavor.
Now all of a sudden now they have an advantage. Now you're bringing our beer down. Wait till Matty hears about this.
Just feel a little left out is all. I mean, you know, I thought we were partners. Pop up into shallow center.
Partners got to be together for stuff like that.
Arcia makes a catch. Out number 2. Well, I guess we're gonna have to find something you and I can do together now.
Yeah, maybe you and Kevin McHale, maybe you can find something. We had a good time with it, though. It's going to be good. You're going to like it.
That's a bold statement. I'm a very tough grader.
Yeah.
Isn't Corey Knebel? He's a homemade brewer, isn't he?
He was on the disabled list at the time when he was going on rehabilitation assignment. It was going to be Corey.
He makes his own beer actually as a hobby.
Right. He couldn't do it.
He has experience.
He had actual work to do. And
it's probably a good thing that he wasn't available, because I feel like he has a much stronger presence in that regard.
Then who?
Than you and Matt.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Just gonna have to wait. See, once again, you're sabotaging our beer.
You see Rock's ball?
Yeah.
That's why he's so frisky tonight. I like that ball. How's that ball coming tonight, by the way?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think I'm going to get one of those. It's good for the back.
It's a physio ball, yeah. It's good for the back, good for the abs. I got to find my abs, but they're there.
Gotta get through all that. I look forward to that. We got our own physical therapy booth up here.
So I'm trying to, get the physio ball working before I start pounding my own beer,
It works hand in hand. It's a little pregame routine.
Yeah. So anyway.
Preventative maintenance, they call it.
Yeah. It's all good.
0-2 to Wilmer Flores. I think they're still using my voice on the old Miller tour now. I did it a long time ago, but I think it's still active.
It is, because I've been on that tour. I was on there last year.
I enjoy doing that.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about the history of
It's
Miller
a
Brewing
great tour,
Company.
as a matter of fact. It's well worth it.
The narration's the best part of it, I'm sure you're thinking.
No, it's the end where you get the sample.
So what happens if your beer actually is really good and kind of takes off? Is that something that could be branded and now it's a real thing? Could it go viral?
Could be. We haven't gotten that far. Our legal teams have not gotten together yet.
You know, you might have signed your life away on that. You might want to prepare for that. What would you call your own beer, Rock?
No, it's a contest that we're going to have with the fans.
Yeah, but what would you call it if you had to pick a name? A lot of the good ones are taken.
I haven't thought about it.
0-2 the count. Flores, a little flare pop right to Aguilar to win the inning. Brewers are running out of outs. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. They're down 5-0.
We'll go through this game. Steven Matz dominating Brewer hitting, and we'll hear from Craig Counsell as well, all coming up after the ball game. Rock joins me, of course. It's the dogs in the park here, the bark in the park, and we want to remember a good friend of ours, Davey Nelson, who is a best friend to many and also a dog's best friend as well. This is his good old buddy, Bullwinkle, and tell you what, he sure loved that dog. Had him for a lot of years down at his home in Florida, and we want to remember Davey with his first year gone here with Bark in the Park with Bullwinkle. Good picture right there. Good to share that one.
Yeah, good memories right there, Craig. Nicely done.
Miss Davey around here, really do. Not the same.
Yeah, they're going to name that corner down there in honor of Davey Nelson as Yelich strikes out to start the 8th inning. Craig Kashan will be joined by Bill Schroeder for Brewers Live postgame out in the right field corner.
Yep.
Looking forward to that unveiling and the night at the ballpark in honor of Davey Nelson. What a great man. What a life he led to. Boy, special.
Very giving. Selfless.
Ryan Braun off the end of the bat. Fly ball into left field. Brewers are going quietly tonight. Mets pitching has been on point. Steven Matz pitching 6 strong innings. Matz only win came against the Brewers. He's got a chance to have his only 2 wins against Milwaukee, barring a comeback. 2 outs in the 8th. Powerball home run leaderboard has Shaw at the top. Had the night off tonight. Jesus Aguilar with 7. Tied with Thames. Thames still on the disabled list. Thumb surgery or thumb injury.
Last time we saw Eric in Arizona, he said he thought he might be a little bit ahead of schedule. Be encouraging.
It's going to be some lonely days on a rehab schedule, working out and trying to get healthy, but Thames will be back before you know it, and the Brewers will welcome back his big bat. In the meantime, Aguilar has been the everyday first baseman and has had a great run here for the Brewers, including 3 RBIs yesterday in the win over the Diamondbacks.
7 homers, 23 RBIs, on base percentage over 380. Yeah, he's been good, to say the least. That's an understatement.
Making his 27th start of the year tonight. First couple of weeks he was mostly coming off the bench. Pop up in foul territory and a 3-up 3-down inning. We go to the 9th at Miller Park. Mets shutting out the Brewers 5-0.
Streams of all out of market games on over 400 different devices. Plus, get a free MLB.com at-bat premium subscription when you sign up.
Well, it's 5-0 Mets. Still having a little fun here at the ballpark on Bark at the Park night. Check out Giannis Antetokounmpo between innings here. He's dancing. He's having fun. Loving a little baseball. Well, hopefully he'll see a comeback tonight. Brewers down 5-0. Taylor Williams on to pitch for Milwaukee. Williams will face Jay Bruce to start this 9th inning. Pretty light schedule in the big leagues tonight. Only one other game in progress right now. Royals lead the Rangers 8-1 in the 9th. As Bruce goes down the line. That is going to get into the corner. Extra bases for Jay Bruce. It's a leadoff double as the Mets have pounded out 13 hits now.
And for a team that has really not been swinging the bats all that well, another pitch barreled up by the Mets. Finds a corner down in right field. Wow, a lot of hard hit baseballs tonight.
So Bruce with a double, 2nd time on base tonight, and that'll bring up Michael Conforto, who snapped an 0 for 9 with a single in the 7th inning. A lot of day games in the big leagues today. Tampa Bay snapped the Red Sox winning streak at 4. Rays beat the Red Sox 6-3. Astros won again. They're turning on the gas right now too. They've won 4 straight. Houston beat Cleveland 8-2. And the Astros are now 33-18. Oakland over the Mariners. Sophia told you about the Orioles beating the White Sox this afternoon in Chicago. Complete game by Dylan Bundy. And the Angels took down Toronto 8-1. Mike Trout hit his 15th homer of the year. Albert Pujols hit number 7. Mike Scioscia said today that Shohei Ohtani would be bumped back from his next start. There's a strikeout on Conforto. First out of the inning. Taylor Williams with a K.
That Ohtani is exactly what he was advertised to be. Something else.
It's going to be interesting to see how the Angels do the maintenance on Ohtani to get him through a season as he hits and pitches. There will be a time when he will get to a level where he has never pitched as much. He only pitched about every 10 days in Japan. Boy, he has shown all the tools, though, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
It's going to be a wild pitch to get Bruce over to third base.
He's got a split-fingered fastball that they say is basically unhittable. He gave him his first hit on that pitch, his last start. First hit all year on that pitch. Amazing.
And he throws 100.
Yeah.
Throws 100, hits at 500. And what you don't hear a lot about is how fast he is. He's one of the faster players on the Angels team. Coming out of the left side of that box. Game-changing talent. That's a pop-up. And Aguilar calls off Williams. 2 outs. Mesoraco is out, and Bruce still at third base. Here's Adrian Gonzalez. Most of Gonzalez's salary is being paid by the Braves this year. Traded from the Dodgers to Atlanta this offseason. Adrian was left off the Dodgers postseason roster last year.
He used to be one of the best run producers in baseball. Then the back problems started to pop up. Still can hit, but certainly not the run producer that he used to be.
Runner at third, 2 outs. And a little jam shot to Aguilar. That's going to end the inning. So a scoreless inning for Williams. Works around a leadoff double by Bruce. Last call for the Brewers. They trail 5-0. Park at the Park night at Miller Park tonight. Second annual here at Miller Park. They're having fun. The Brewers not so much. Still got a chance. Bottom of the 9th inning, Mets lead 5-0. Jacob Rame on to pitch for New York, his 8th appearance.
He's got a save this year, 386 earned run average, game number 8. Rame last appeared in a game a couple of days ago against Miami, a scoreless inning.
Steven Matz started 6 shutout innings tonight for the Mets starter. Hernan Perez leads off here in the 9th. Brewers have just 4 hits, all 4 of those coming off Matz. Matz walked 3, struck out 3. Sewald went 2 scoreless with 2 punchouts. And now Rame trying to close it out here for the Mets.
All 4 of the Brewers hit singles tonight.
And on the flip side, the Mets have 5 runs on 13 hits. They've stranded 11 in this game. They've had base runners in every inning except the 2nd tonight. A lot of traffic out there. Zach Davies started for the Brewers, went 4+, giving up 4 runs in his return from the disabled list. First of 4 against the Mets. The series goes through Sunday. Another night game tomorrow, and then day games Saturday and Sunday. Memorial Day weekend. Make it a safe one.
Going to see some big fastballs tomorrow. Noah Syndergaard for the Mets.
Perez pops one foul out of play. Syndergaard against Junior Guerra tomorrow. Miller Lite What's on Tap on the air at 6:30. 7:10 first pitch.
Hey, Guerra's been good. Syndergaard, look at the numbers, 4-1, 291. Junior's earned run average under 3.
A 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio for Syndergaard. All the success the Brewers have had this season, they're off to their best start in the first 50 games in franchise history. If they don't score a run in this inning, they will have been shut out 9 times this year. Had 8 all of last season. And we haven't even hit June yet, and the Brewers will be shut out 9 times without a run here in the 9th. That's hard to believe.
Yeah.
You take the wins and the shutouts. If that's the combination that it is, you'll take it, but you'd rather not be shut out and have an offense go dormant so often.
It's only one day normally. I mean, they're going to go right back at it tomorrow. Of course, having Syndergaard out on the mound doesn't make it very easy. These guys have bounced back from being shut out many times this year.
There's a broken bat base hit by Perez on the 10th hit, or rather 10th pitch of the at-bat. That's the way you do it. Never give up an at-bat. And Hernan with his first hit of the game.
That fastball, upper 90s by Rame, and Perez able to get enough muscles it into left field. All 5 hit singles for Milwaukee tonight.
Manny Pena takes ball 1. Brewers use Dan Jennings, Jorge Lopez, Boone Logan, and Taylor Williams in their bullpen tonight. They will arrive for tomorrow's game fully loaded in their pen for game 2 of this series as Pena pops it up out number 1. Manny with 2 walks tonight. He'll finish 0 for 2, barring a comeback.
That is the one silver lining to a night where you really have had a difficult time. The fact you didn't have to use a lot of your big boys out of your bullpen. If you want to find a silver lining.
Well, one day leads to the next. Brewers have had high usage in their bullpen. Starters don't go deep typically. 4+ innings tonight. Those two guys on the right deserve a lot of credit. Lee Tunnell's the bullpen coach, and in the shin guards, the bullpen catcher Marcus Hamill, who is a lot more to this team than just catching relievers warming up.
Right.
Part psychologist, big brother down there.
And you have Robinson Diaz, another bullpen catcher down in the bullpen.
There's Robinson.
Share the catching duties down there.
Ground ball to second, could be 2 to end it. It is. The ball game is over, and the Brewers are shut out by the Mets in the opener of this 4-game series. 9th shutout of the year for the Brewers. 5-0 Mets. Mets beats Davies for the 2nd time this season. And the Mets take game 1. The Brewers drop to 31-20. Still in first place when we arrive for game 2 tomorrow. Set up for Brewers Live. Let's check in with Craig Kashawn. He's standing by in the right field corner. Craig?
All right, B, thanks very much. Tough one here to open up the series against the Mets. Bats are going to have to obviously come alive. We'll talk about it for tomorrow's game 2 here from Craig Counsell when we come back to Brewers Live from Miller Park.